Do, because we are quite a few presenters, we're going to have a quick presentation of each project and explain its relevance to the Sustainable Development Goals. And then we're going to go straight into the audience to ask questions on how you're achieving your targets and also the challenges and the solutions you're providing to hit some of the SDGs that you're working on. So that's great. Let me just check on the two other presenters. Nelly, you want to go first? So Nelly is from Operation Blue, and she's dressed in blue. And I remember today I talked about the ocean and all marine ecosystems, including freshwater ecosystems, and their importance in sustaining life on the planet. Our project is called Operation Blue, and we're very honored to be collaborating with Nelly. Oh, I was looking for these two ladies. Come on stage. So Nelly's going to go first and tell us about what she's doing with youth innovation and Operation Blue. Over to you, Nelly.
Well, greetings to all distinguished panelists and coordinators and moderators and to all of you who are in the audience today. So first of all, I'd like to thank Dr. Bramley here, who invited me to this beautiful panel. And I also would like to thank everyone for staying until this time and also being part of this wonderful event. So I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Nilgün Pala. I'm a project manager. I was born and raised in Istanbul, Turkey. And I completed my degree in business studies. So unlike some of you who are here today, I don't have an academic background in environmental studies. However, today I'd like to show you how as an individual and a small NGO like Youth Innovation, that how much we can do for our planet and for our environment. And in 2017, with my younger sister Sina, who is among us today, we established Youth Innovation NGO based in London. And so we applied for some projects that are funded by European Commission. So with the Erasmus program, we were able to be part of many amazing international projects that actually helped us to be part of these European Commission projects under Erasmus program. And we were also able to directly support local and international young people and involve them in social and environmental studies and activities and help them be part of these projects. And today I'd like to actually introduce the Operation Blue project. And with this is actually Erasmus Plus program. It's a capacity building project funded by European Commission. And it involved 4 countries, Turkey, Peru, UK, and Spain. And 5 project partners, 2 of which are actually here today in present, Youth Innovation and also Worldwide Impact Foundation, which is chaired by Dr. Bramley Lindo. And let's go on the next slide. So this project actually aimed to increase awareness of environmental... Oops, let's see if it's going to come back on. I think we're losing. Okay, we're back. So it included 5 project partners, Youth Innovation and a Worldwide Impact Foundation, and it aimed to raise awareness of the critical environmental issues caused by plastic pollution, and also we wanted to increase the capacity of project partners regarding reducing plastic pollution and waste. With Operation Blue project, we organize many events and translational meetings, study visits and conference in Peru, and meetings in Spain and Turkey, study visits in Fethiye, Turkey, and a training course in London, and youth event in Peru, and beach cleanups in all project partners. We were able to directly involve 170 participants in our international activities, over 500 participants in our local activities, and thousands of people in our local campaigns and eco-campaigns. With our international eco-training course and study visits, we trained over 70 youth workers, NGO and municipality representatives, and volunteers. And through these events, they were able to transfer their knowledge and experience to their colleagues in their communities. And they promoted zero waste, and reducing plastic pollution, protecting natural resources, and clean energy. And during our project, tons of waste were collected and removed from our beaches and parks, and some of which were sent to sorting centers. And removing plastic waste protects wildlife and improves ecosystems on land and below water, and protects our lands, and also helps protects our drinking water resources, and reduces food contamination, and leading to healthier individuals. And in our environmental trainings, we had climate change experts. We also had Dr. Bramley in our events and study visits and trainings. And they helped deliver quality eco-education to our participants. And in all our activities, we also practiced gender equality for all our participants and everyone involved. And I'd like to take you on a small journey to show you what we have been doing in the last 2-3 years with Operation Blue projects. So we started in Turkey in Fethiye. We had our translational meetings with all project partners. We visited local sorting center, rehabilitation center for Karate Caritas. We organized eco-events involving all project partners and their participants in Turkey, and having eco-events. And participants share their activities that they do in their countries and share the good practices they do in their countries. We visited sorting center, and also we collected lots of waste from the beaches around Fethiye and also in partner countries. And participants, as I was saying, that in Peru and from other countries that were part of this project, they also involved sharing good practices from their communities. And the second project we organized was in London. So in this training course, participants actually learn how to lead their own eco projects in their communities. They share their eco ideas, and they also learn how they can actually transfer this to their colleagues back home. We organized, I like to call it eco-living workshops. So participants had the chance to learn how they can make their vegan candles, soaps, toothpaste, and all eco products. And also these were some of our upcycling events. From the very beginning of our project, we started doing our online eco campaigns to actually encourage locals and also international young people and communities to learn about, also raise awareness about waste in the seas, and also reducing all this waste around. So the next activity, international activity we did was in Peru, in Lima. So we organized Operation Blue conference and youth event, followed by another beach cleanup, litter picking, to raise awareness in the local community in Lima. And of course, just doing international events is not enough. We wanted to focus in the local area as well. So in all project countries, locally, we organize local events like litter picking, plugging in Edinburgh, and in Fethiye, and in London, and all around also in the project countries like in Spain as well. And as part of our project, we also did a lot of eco sessions, and then we eco-living workshops as well. Again, these are the candle making and soap making and using upcycling events also. And I'd like to summarize what we can do as individuals. And I would always suggest to our participants to live more minimalistically and support local producers, and also stop wasting, start sharing, support eco-entrepreneurs for the eco-ideologies and eco-ideas, join movements fighting for nature, and vote for people who defend nature and found organizations to preserve nature. And I also like to end my presentation with beautiful words from Sir David Attenborough. Don't waste. Don't waste food, don't waste energy, and don't waste time. So, thank you so much.
So, Thank you so much, Nelly. You can leave your laptop. I think you can load up your presentation. So that was really good to see some real action that Nelly and her team have been doing in multiple countries for Operation Blue. And now we're going to have Fernando. We're going to have a small presentation. All projects related to the SDGs will have questions later of how exactly they're measuring impact on the ground with regards to the SDGs. It's an eclectic mix of people on the panel, all different sectors, but all aiming at the SDGs, which is very cool. So it's going to start from the oceans. So over to you, Fernando. In the meantime, does anyone have a question for Nelly, what she just presented just now on oceans? Well, not just oceans, all water bodies. It's SDG, life underwater, and also life on land. Yeah. And we were just coming out from a panel that talked about single-use plastics and how it lands up into the oceans and clogs our water bodies and lands into our bloodstream. So it was quite interesting to see what this group has been trying to do with Operation Blue, or at least raise the level of awareness. Oh, yes, question.
I wondered how you upcycled toothpaste tubes, or was it toothbrushes in the workshop there? What did you turn them into or use them for?
Oh, toothpaste.
Yeah.
So, well, basically we had small jars that we made a toothpaste from coconut and some, I think, mint oil. So, you can always reuse that small jar. So we didn't have to upcycle that material, but we were able to use it again and again by just making the paste itself.
Very nice.
So I guess the presentation is up and ready. Over to you.
Hello, good afternoon. I am Fernando. I come from Malaga, from the south of Spain. I am farmer and also an educator. It's a complete pleasure to be here with such big companies, people that are changing the society. And for a small NGO than us to be here is a completely honor and pleasure. I am going to present our project. It's called Rancho Limón. It's a eco-village in the south of Andalusia in Spain. It's so close where Laura is working. It's around 10 minutes by car. And I'm going to explain what we're making. First of all, I want to explain what is the situation that we have in Andalusia, in the south, like in all the Mediterranean Sea. It's like, for example, last year as you see in the TP, we have like a fire 1 year ago, and you can really feel like what is climate change happening. It's like, obviously the fire were not coming to Rancho, but some days were the smoke coming, and was quite insane thing. And the picture in the left side is where the last 2 winters, or our valley, it was. It's a completely pity, 3 months without any raining, everything drying. It's a shame. And if this is the last picture, it's in the other side of Malaga province. It's like one of the most important lake in Malaga province, and right now it's around 10% of the capacity. And even it's in an area, tropical area, with mango, with avocado. It's like a dead lake right now. I'm going to explain what are we making in Rancho Limón. We are like innovative education center. We are working like global education. For us, it's the most important thing. We are working in human rights, in climate change, social economy, rural development. And it's one of the tools that we are working, like social inclusion, independent culture, bioconstruction, and obvious that we are an agroecology space. Mostly we are working with lemon and oranges and many orchards like this in the picture. Also for us it's quite important that we are making with a circular economy. All that infrastructure, all that furniture are made for ourselves. This, for example, is made with butano. It's for me a perfect example of a circular economy. And I'm going to explain the last 2 things. It's something like my friends say, we have a rancho of the 21st century. For us, it's quite important because we are receiving like several youngsters during every year. And for us, we have two tools quite important for us. It's the street art. Right now we have 29 street different art from different artists. It's quite important for us because we are working in a methodological way. No, it's like we try to teach some values like climate change, like human rights to the youngster with this. And also, I want to explain to you the the 2 video games that we were making for this year. It was a video game for 4 years ago called The Great Game of Rancho Limon. We start working with the SDGs. Even I don't have like many knowledge about if there is any video game about SDG before. It will be like augmented reality. You need to cross all Rancho Limon looking for these boxes, and after this, it's going to appear this application and 17 different video games. Yeah, for example, every SDG have the relation with one small video game, and we try to generate some contests in the rural area. For example, our river, our animals, recycling. Is for youngsters, I think it's quite interesting, no? Because it's like my brother says, it's like the language of the youngsters. And also we are happy because in the next month we are going to release the second video game, and we are so happy, no? Because we are working global education, and this kind of project start to generate some more incidents in other countries. It's a video game about climatic refugees. Are based in 8 women that they need to check from the climate change, and it will be like a graphic adventure. You need to take decision to escape from climate change. And it's quite beautiful also the project because are connected with street art. Are 8 different street art made from 8 different women, and you scan and later you can play to this video game. And you can download for Google Play if you want. Many thanks.
Great, thank you very much. So in the meantime, does anyone have questions about his school project in Malaga in Spain? That's a pretty cool project.
Are those games available for kids that are not in your region? For example, I also work with kids, and those look like quite cool games that I would like to utilize.
Yeah, no, the first video game, the first game, a great game of Rancho Limon is more for youngsters, but the second video game, Climatic Refugees, even is for adults, because you are talking about climate change, you are talking about the situation in the women in the world, quite complicated, and migration. Obvious are some topics that maybe for children with 10 to 12 years is not allowed. So the great game of Rancho Limon will be for a youngster, and the other one for youngsters and adults.
But is it really available?
Yeah, it's both video games are for free and are in Play Store. Right now, it's not working for iPhone. Right now, it's just for Android.
So those video games are now operational, that people can actually use and play them?
Yeah.
Are they all free, right? Anyone can play in different languages or?
Yeah, the great game of Rancho Limon is in Spanish and English, and Climatic Refugees are in English, Spanish, and Polish. It was so hard to translate in Polish, but because it was part from a Key Action 2 project, we decided to do it. And so, Climatic Refugees is also, I think it's a beautiful and amazing project because as you see, like the 8 different street art are reality augmented, and also it's like a street art exposition. We are focusing to try to expose in other countries, in other universities, and it is quite interesting, because it will be like a global project for every educational center.
There's a big move now with augmented reality and bringing it to the schools to educate, to give people like a visual reality of different countries and projects, and actually to take action through games, and then the game connects with the real projects in the real world. Marcella, these are real projects here. You come from an academic world. You mentioned today about the different issues we talk about. Everything requires energy. And each project here requires energy to run the games, to run the cleanup, to run the operations and so on. And you've been working in this for a long time. Before you actually do a presentation, What do you think will help us solve this energy crisis? How should all the next generation work?
It is very funny. When I was finishing high school in 1971, we had in last year the lecture concerning so-called high-temperature plasma. It is in fun, but fusion experiments began 50 years ago, and in that time they told that we need more 30 years. Now we are speaking students that we need more 30 years.
30 years.
So, fusion will help us because the fuels is water. They tell you water. And it synthesizes helium, and the difference of energy is that what we can use as electric energy. But there is always problem with the scaling up. Because it can be scaled only 10 times, and we need twice scaling. Now, there is ITER, it is a big European project, but there are several projects in China and in Korea, and in reality, that Chinese project has a better results than European one. So, it is the one possibility. The other possibility is uranium-235 we have for about 65 years. So, existing nuclear power station in after 50 years will have problem with the fuel. And in the ore, there is only 0.4% of uranium. But there is up to 5% of thorium. And it exists nuclear power system which is based on the melted thorium. They are much smaller because the size is maximum 100 megawatts. But the final waste on the end of the life is non-radioactive. So it's a very good possibility, and it can be diversified during the run, and then the lines between place of use and place of production are much shorter. So the losses are smaller. And of course there is the problem of renewable energy, namely wind, solar, heat pump.
Hydro.
Hydro is not energy source, it is energy mediator, because we have perhaps excess of energy from wind and we have no use for it. So we produce hydrogen, store it, and then from this stored hydrogen we later in fuel cell systems produce electricity. And fuel cells in comparison to combustion processes is very good, because the efficiency of electricity production in fuel cells is 42%. But in classical combustion systems, there the efficiency is done due to Carnot cycle, and maximum theoretical value is 34%. And usually, perhaps in cars, there is efficiency somewhat 28, 29.
So finally, the tech support team has been able to help. Thanks, Marcella, for talking about the energy. We'll go back to energy because your presentation also talks about providing clean energy for very poor farmers in northeast India. So over to you, lady. Sorry for the tech support problem.
Thank you, and very sorry for those technical issues. So my name is Olga. This is my colleague Lemay. And we are very thrilled to present our Happy Green Sustainable School. It's been around a week that we returned from Northeast India, Meghalaya. and I just wanted to ask if anybody in the audience have ever been there. If you've been, just raise your hand. Okay, we have a few people. Wow. So we've been there as a part of our Social Explorers mission with a project called Create Impact Through Social Entrepreneurship with the Worldview Impact Foundation. And we discovered a lot. We discovered how the forests, the trees are planted, and what is the amazing support that local farmers receive. And we were very inspired by that. We met a lot of local farmer entrepreneurs, and we also saw a lot of amazing views that are forever in our hearts. But there was one specific visit that made us be here, and it's the school that we are going to present. We made a really inspiring visit to one of the poorest communities, poorest schools in the area, and we received such a warm welcome. We were very excited for that, but at the same time, we were very shocked to see the very poor conditions that those kids have to learn in spite of the great efforts of the school. So without further ado, let's get to know those kids from the video that we prepared for you, so you can understand their challenges. Those interviews were taken just yesterday, so it's a very fresh look at what is going on there. Thank you. Hello, music. All right, so we'll get to know those amazing kids. You can see a bit already. That's how we entered the school, and everybody was applauding, and it was a cultural shock for some of us. Right, so yeah, we just wait a bit for the music to come. As you can see here, the area is not, there's no any construction here, so there's no drain system. At a certain point there was a huge rain, and we just had to wait for a long time until until the flood goes away, so the school was over-flooded. We explored the area meanwhile, and we found out that there was no toilets, and then for the drinking water we realized there's no pipes, so kids have to go down the stream with a very steep hill, which is kind of dangerous, and that's the only way for them to have the clean water. So let's watch the... So we will get to know those people through the video, those kids a bit later on. Meanwhile, I'll just keep the presentation going. Can we have the next slide, please? Right, and the next slide as well. Thank you. That's amazing.
Almost there.
I think the presentation is going fine so far. Okay, yeah, the next slide. Okay, that's us. The next slide, please. Right, so this is the picture that you can see, the construction. This is the classroom, and you can see the construction is really weak. Imagine there are two classes happening at the same time in this small room in one corner, and there's another class happening in the other corner, which is madness, right? We can't imagine something like that in our countries. Also, the next slide, just to see how it looks like. Also, we can see the very poor construction here and there, and the draining system, as I have said already. So there was a lot of things that we realized has to be done, and we decided to take this challenge and build the best green sustainable school in the area, maybe in the world, we don't know. We are very ambitious. For at least here, for those 300 underprivileged farmers' kids, to bring up future leaders, entrepreneurs, and greater minds who will contribute to the future of the community. And we wanted to make it not just a school, but a hub not only for kids, but for parents, for the families, to help the community in general, to educate kids by day and adults by night, and not only teach them how to read and write, but also teach them about organic farming, about entrepreneurship, self-defense for women, etc., etc. Next slide, please. And that's the school we're gonna build, and I'm going to give.
Hello everyone. My name is Lamay Torres. I just arrived from India 3 days ago. So we want to talking about some of the goals that we decide to take with our project. So the first, it will be the quality education. So why we want to provide the quality education? Right now, our experience in this school, it was completely catastrophic because you see lovely kids with lovely smile without not have any conditions at all. So we decided to, right now there are 9 classrooms. In this 9 classroom, there are 300 kids without no bathrooms, no toilets, and no water at all, because the government is not providing the vibe for the school. So what we want to do is to create a very environment and to invite our kids to feel open, to feel peaceful, happy, and to willing to study, and to learn and to bring more for the community. And in this new green school, we want to build the open space, the good lives, natural lives, with natural local materials, and also to be by stone, by bamboo, and by clay. So, and also we want to build all the furniture naturally, and to make them also to bring by recycling printer. And also, one of the things, the big goals that we want is to provide the free education for some of the advantaged kids, like big families or single mothers as well, single parents. One of the big problems that we saw in this school is about the teacher salaries. They are very low, more than 40%, that is the normal in the city. So it's the 60, 100 pounds per month. So and our idea is to be the lovely classroom, with this open space for the kindergarten, so they can feel happy, and also for the for primary and secondary, to be the library, music room, yoga class, kitchen, because right now the kids don't have food, they don't have kitchen. So we want also, one of the goals is to provide the very healthy food as well. So, and also we want, like my colleague said before, we really want to provide a school at night for parents, and especially for women, because in these kind of areas, the women most of the time don't have access to the studies. So this is our important goal for us. So the other goals that we have is the clean water and sanitation. So right now, like my colleague explained, it's not clean water, so we want to build the well for drinking and clean water, and also to pipe systems, to toilet and bathrooms, so our kids can go, like normal kids, to clean their hands with clean water and to refresh in the very hot weather of Meghalaya. And also we want to make the drainage system, so the school not overflowing. Okay, when we was there, it was super raining, we almost drawing there. So we need to come into the low up floor, so it was crazy raining. So, and the small kids running, so it's very, very sad to see that. So the other, okay, sorry. the other goal we have is healthy and well-being. Okay, we want to create a very healthy lifestyle, like yoga room, medical centers with equipment, and also with counselor, because for us right now mental health is very important, and more in this early stage. So we want to build a bicycle and repair hub and a club. And we want to make the playground, a sport that right now is not exists at all, with a lovely football and basketball field. And also we want to be the kitchen, like I said before, to provide a very healthy nutrition, because healthy nutrition is mean power brains. And also we want to promote the agriculture and by supported by local farmers, and we want to fight the food waste to teach our kids permaculture as well.
Sorry, time is running out.
Oh, sorry. So the other thing we want to provide is panel solar. So we want to educate our kids as well, our adults, how to manage the battery and and to preserve the energy as well. And the last one it was poverty. So what we can say a lot, but if we have the good, healthy, and happy education, it's not poverty, it's future, it's hope.
Great, thank you very much. You got 5 goals covered in one project. Excellent, real excellent. So, Martin, you want to go next?
Hello guys, I'll try to be as short and sexy as possible. So, as I said, the billion-dollar question, can we have a sustainable future? And I'll try to answer this question, but a little bit about myself. 10 years ago, I participated in one project where we, with other 30 young leaders, we developed a policy with 10 points that we presented to the European Commission. Then we presented it. I was a keynote speaker at the United Nations meeting in Bonn. And several of those points went into the Green Deal later, and we are working on them. So back then the topic was how we can personally impact the global weather and the climate change. And I want to show you the result. Sorry. So pretty much the result in the last 100 years, and in the last 10 you'll see them at the end of this short clip. I'll continue with the presentation. So what I realized is that we cannot achieve anything by us being personally involved in this matter, because as a single unit we cannot affect enough change in order to really change something, in order to really impact the environment. So this is the picture today, and it doesn't look good. The tendency is to go even darker red than it's now. And look where is the hottest place, where the ice caps are. So rising temperatures, extreme weather, biodiversity loss, and those three are just, rising temperatures are the current threat. Then the extreme weather, and the longest term threat will be the biodiversity loss, which we really need to address. So I thought about it, and I realized that we need to change the paradigm. And we need to change it now, because we are at the tipping point of where we need to either change things or stay at the same place and go further into the rabbit hole. So I need to change my slide. So, change is inevitable. We will change for sure, and the change will happen either we want it or not. But how it will change, it's up to us, and it's up to us now. And the only way to change this is to actually do it together. When there is a wish, there is a way. And I'll give you 3 examples with the companies that I work with in a way. First one is I'm a co-founder of the APDNA, it's a technological startup. And I'll give you just a short example of how we can influence change, although we are not working directly into the climate change problem. So while working with the client, we were able to help them improve their supply chain, by first improving the monitoring. Being able, when you're able to see the whole picture, it's very easy to see where are the bottlenecks, where are the black holes, where all the money are wasted. So when you close those gaps, it's very easy to improve the efficiency. And at the end of the day, when we finish with this project, what happened was that not only that he improved his money flow, but we also realized that he decreased the carbon footprint that he was leaving. And keep in mind that this company is very much focused on the carbon footprint that it's leaving. Do you know how much water is wasted on the production of one t-shirt? 2,700 liters of water for one t-shirt. Do you know how many t-shirts are sold, not produced, sold per year in the world? 2 billion. And I'm not including in that number the insecticides, the pesticides, and all other chemicals that are used to color the t-shirt. So, the company that we helped with their supply chain, what they're doing is they're using organic cotton, and the whole process of creating a t-shirt through the organic process decreased the amount of water used with 98%. So it was very important for them to stay on the greener side and have as less impact as possible. So the next one, it's my marketing agency. It's all about the choice. And you can choose to be green or not to be green. You can, and I'm not talking about greenwashing. I'm talking about really making an impact. When I established this company, I set one goal for myself: to never work with companies who have negative impact on the environment. Last month, I declined a deal that was in the 5-digit area just because the company was not in a good place and did not want to improve it. So it's all about the wish. And I'll spit it out. If we have a wish, there will be always a way. And last but not least, and actually the reason why I'm here, it's the Sofia Smart City Cluster, because I'm reaching into the shifting of the paradigm. There is only one way to make a change, and that change we need to make it together. Sofia Knowledge City, it's actually a place where we connect the business, the education, the startups, the capital, so they can work together, produce innovation, put it directly on the market, and then do it again. In order to create not only a sustainable future, but smart cities which are easy to govern and which are easy to then improve in every sector of the community. So I'm not going to go now into detail on the impact, into some examples. So in total, with all my clients, we're in the negative carbon footprint with almost 3 million kilos of in the minus. So the future. Have you heard of Kardashev scales? So yes. The Kardashev scale, thank you. It's how we measure the technological development of the civilization. And there are 3 levels. First is how we use the energies of the planet. Second one is if we use the energy of the sun. And the third one is if we use the energy of the whole universe and the galaxy. So we are nowhere on that scale. And what I want to end my presentation with is that we are type 0. And if we want our civilization to go on further and develop in the next 1,000 years, in the next 100 years, we need to become a type 1 civilization and utilize all of the energy sources of the planet and stop using fossil fuel. And the only way we can do it is to do it together. Thank you.
Marcella, you have 5 minutes. Yes.
Oh, I lost
Fire away. It's great because you're trying to move to the Kardashian scale from a type 0 to a type 1, to a type 2, to a type 3 civilization. Like he said, we, the human race or civilization, are type 0. If we want to be a type 1 civilization in 100 years to survive in this planet, we have to use all the energy of the planet without fossil fuels. If you want to be type 2, you have to use all the energy of the sun in our solar system. And if you want to be type 3, you have to use the energies of all the stars in our Milky Way galaxy. So that's the advancement of the Cartesian scale that Martin was referring to. So I don't know if the planet will still be around by those scales, but it's interesting. Marcella is going to talk about sustainable energy because that's the main source, main goal, but renewable, powerful energy for all. How do you make that possible?
So I am coming from Slovakia. Communist University, I was working 50 years, and I have my own company, 5 years. So, up to now, I have made various measurements. At the beginning, on mobile sources to clean exhaust from cars. Then I have built a pilot plant for 250 normal cubic meters per hour, which consists of pyrolysis oven and various part of experimental system working with a low temperature plasma. We have made various measurements in cooperation with industry, in glass making oven, brown coal stock-fired oven, black coal, artificial cleaning of exhaust from the production of artificial diamonds, like in Swarovski perhaps, then rubber crush dryer exhaust, then cleaning of exhaust from chicken farm and exhaust from a rendering plant. So, our measurements contain of various parts. We have online analysis which analyze components every 6 seconds. Then we have infrared spectrometry, thermographic measurements, mass spectrometry, and some various other analyses. We have tried to clean exhaust so that there are not toxic admixtures like dioxins or polyfluoric aromatic hydrocarbons. This is the system we use. You can see there that there is a heat exchanger. We store the heat we produce in our system. Then it is hydrogen storage. Then it was electric discharge system, which in reality cleaned the exhaust. Products from this system, we can see here, this is infrared spectra. On the left side are prior the discharge system, on the right side after. You see that there is a sharp decrease of OH radical, methane, carbon dioxide, and all nitrogen oxides. There exists a method which used our nature at the beginning of life, maybe 4 billion years ago. Because that time, the only source of primary atmosphere was volcanic activity. When you compare the composition of volcanic gases and combustion exhaust, it is practically very, very similar. So, at that time, water only began to condense. And you can see on the left side there is the composition of volcanic gases. There is carbon dioxide, monoxide, water vapor, nitrogen, hydrocarbons, some sulfuric compounds, and traces of ammonium and the radical HN2. The number of sparks that time was 10 to 10 sparks per 24 hours. Nowadays it is 10 to 6. So the very good and reliable source of energy was the terrestrial lightning spark. And we use a very similar system, only our sparks are much smaller. They have only 2 centimeters, not 10 kilometers. And in our system, we use the metastable states of nitrogen, and these react with the carbon dioxide to incorporate and produce NCO radical. This can react with either additional water or additional NO radical and produce so-called NCO radical. This reacts with water and produce amino acids. In our system, we have produced practically all 20 essential amino acids which exist in our life. This on the left side, there are when we look at under the microscope on our product, it was cross-linked proteinoid and very similar to our cells. The diameter was 4 micrometers, as you see on that up part. And all reaction will take place in the system on the volume on the surface, and after the discharge you see in the table what you have no time to read. Then after that, we begin to make experiments. The efficiency of the system we have built, so-called vertical discharge system, was for the removal of carbon dioxide between 65 and 70%. So when we want to have close to 100 efficiency, we need to use not only one system but several. So the vertical discharge system is that one which is on the left side, and it will contain 430 discharge tubes. Then we use a horizontal system where the high voltage electrode is in the air part and the low voltage electrode is immersed in the water. And every components which are soluble in water are coming to the water. So we have a little bit cleaner exhaust and dirty water. The water goes to electrolytic system, which is on the right, this one, and then it is changed to either hydrocarbons, which are very similar to fuel, or waxes, and clean water. But when you have exhaust, inside exhaust you have 11% of water vapor. In the air we have only maximally 4. So we can condense also water from exhaust and use it after cleaning as a water for agriculture. So this is a system which will be used for 1,000 cubic meters per hour. Then the next step, here is this, that's the system horizontal. And this is the system electrolytic. I will finish. And for our energy consumption for such system is when we want to decrease 100% of carbon dioxide, we need for that 2,23 kilowatt per hour, when our source is 100 megawatt electric power station block, which has 1,600,000 normal cubic meters per hour. It means that the price of energy per megawatt hour is 150 euros. So for removal of 1 ton of carbon dioxide, it is only 0.34 euros.
Amazing. That's the cheapest deal I've ever heard of removing carbon per ton.
And this is with the final system
Yes.
for 10,000, which is modular and can be used for various types of systems.
How much money do you need to start your system?
5 million.
$5 million to suck carbon from the atmosphere. 5 million euros. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Marcella. Wow, that's amazing. Amazing. She's built an entire system to suck carbon from the atmosphere at a fraction of the cost. And I think there should be a lot of investors that should give you that 5 million and you can suck a lot of carbon and store it underground. Thank you so much, guys. We don't have much time, but we had an eclectic mix. Give a round of applause to our speakers.